Okay, so this one we have 14Q and 18Q. Okay. So this is a Hane. Hanes you need to be very cautious with. For this shape, I think it's fine to just Nobi because the more your opponent crawls, the better it is for you. And there's no risk for white, and every move that black plays on the second line is good for white. So black wants to get away as soon as possible, and we don't have all the cutting Aji, or the cutting weakness. But here is a little dangerous. It's a little bit dangerous, so I feel we should just not even worry about it. Don't play this one. This one we learned from AI is a bad move. The reason is white gets a very strong tiger's mouth. So normally connections are better for fixing cuts, but in this case, not only does it help with the end game, protecting the cut from the, I'll just show it. Not only does it help with the end game by protecting this cut, it also gives good eye shape. So it's very, very easy to live on the top side. So because we have strong eye shape and lots of liberties, this is now considered a very thick wall and we can attack from it. So there's not a good reason to give your opponent such a strong shape. So it's actually better to just go down if you need to, rather than giving that strong tiger's mouth. But I want to say, I don't know. 14, this 3/3 life and death is really, it's hard to say at what level can you read it. So if you can live in the corner, you can Tanuki. If not, then don't. Right? Play another move so you don't die if you have to. Okay, interesting cut. I think this one is the more vulnerable one. Here, fix your other cut. Fix the cut, fix the cut, fix the cut. If you're wanting to attack these two stones, you want to surround. A common surrounding move is the capping move. However, you are attacking from stones without a base, and it's from stones without a base and that has a cutting point. So you want to attack from strength, not from weakness. Okay, black, it's nice that you're trying to cut, but in this case, it looks like you just got a weak group. So not quite a successful attack. Okay, don't push from behind, just try to run away. 1-point jumps are the safe shape at this level. Yeah, push from behind is going to be really good for your opponent. Oh, this is a third line. This is not second line, this is the fourth line. So this should be good for white locally. Fourth line's quite good. There's something to be said for that wall, but I don't think it's going to be possible to utilize it efficiently enough to get fourth line territory at this level. This one's not necessary, but it's okay. Yeah, okay, so let's not push from behind. It's a bad habit. Even if the thickness can be considered good, quote unquote, on some level, it's a bad habit to push from behind. You want a knight's move to get ahead as fast as possible. As soon as the knight cannot be cut because of the net, as soon as we cannot be cut, we want to knight's move to try to get ahead, because pushing from behind is good for our opponent. So I want to say you've given a lot of cash right here. So you have to utilize this. Otherwise, white has made a very good exchange, and it's really difficult below 5Q to utilize the center. This is not good. This is just going to be a net. It just doesn't work. Yeah, so this was a bad cut. It's good to look at the cuts, but if it doesn't work, don't do it. I think just play. Oh, actually, no. Get a base first, and then after you have a base, then go play on the open side, because open side's first. Big moves, defense, then big moves. All of this is unnecessary. There we go. Don't approach from right here. You want to approach from one space away. This is because this is too close, and when white blocks, you have low liberties, and white has lots of liberties, so this is kind of a touching fight. And in a touching fight, you can see the black is just going to be ahead, so we don't want to do that. We want to back off just a little bit. And then the shape is base space, and it's a little bit safer and easier. Okay. This is okay, because it's just going into star point variations, which is not bad, since we're going for center. Avoid this shape at double digit Q. Pre-peeped 1-point jump. This is how groups die. Okay, if you play a pre-peeped 1-point jump, you have 2 cutting points. Instead, if you want to get ahead, you want to play a knight's move, because a knight's move only has 1 cutting point, and that is a ladder here. So a knight's move will be the better way to get ahead. This one is, I'm having dead group flashbacks. Do not do this. It just leads to too many dead groups in game reviews that I see. Oh, now we have 3 cutting points. Uh-oh. White, go ahead and push this, and then try to use the cutting points to survive or to punish your opponent. In this case, let's see, if I wanted to survive, I believe there is a quick survival here, because this is third line cut shapes. And even if we get squeezed a little bit here, it's okay. Simply because it's always like 2 liberties, so we should be able to win no matter what. And this is doing third line sequences. You should know second line sequences at this level, so like second line cuts, like an end game second line cuts. So this is a third line cut. This is another shape for you to learn. It's the cut Atari and push it, and then trap it. And when it turns, it only has 2 liberties. So as long as you have 2 liberties or more on the outside, you can trap it against the edge. So it's a third line cut sequence. Very important basic shape. Just connect. Fix the cuts. Fix the cuts. Cuts are how we die. Okay, let's see how this goes. Remember, we're playing defense. We want to use these to defend ourselves. So maybe here. Risky, but I don't know. I don't think they're being utilized properly, but at the same time, we can't read perfectly at this level, so just poking them is probably good enough. Are you alive on the inside? Oh dear. Second line cuts, second line cuts. Gotta know our second line cuts. Super important. Super important. We cannot play on the 19x19 without knowing second line cuts. It is one of our basic shapes. Make sure we learn it as fast as possible. So in this case, you need to defend it here. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. Ooh, black made a mistake too. We got a capture. This is a go problem. Oh no. Oh no. It's a snapback. This is go problems for both players. So we got second line cuts, and then we have the snapback shape. So we actually have to capture here because by going down, we actually lost the liberties, surprisingly. It looks like it shouldn't, but it actually does. You lose that extra liberty because of the edge. So it's actually a snapback, which is black captures, white captures back immediately. Looks like white missed it. So go problems for both. This is also not good though, because this is running on the first line. So let's assume black's fixed because you didn't see that black was in Atari. This, even if we don't know about the net, this is going to get trapped, right? There's no way you can get out from this. So you never want to run in that first line. It's just trapped. There's a couple shapes here that I'm seeing for white that we do need to know. The second line cuts running on the first line. These are very important shapes for touch fights on the side. You can practice these on 9x9 and 13x13. It's not like you don't play 19x19, but if you just need these quick shapes, it's very quick and easy to place on some small boards to get some practice near the edge. So you can think of like 9x9 and 13x13 as fights near the edge. So the knowledge transfers up to help you, and that is what you can learn from this is some of the edge fighting shapes like second line cut. Okay. Same for black. Don't get greedy. Don't get greedy. You're looking at the bulky 5, which is, it's good that you know the life and death, but you're trying to kill without respecting your own weaknesses. So you have to be able to see both at the same time. In other words, defense, your opponent's going to live. It's just how it is. You don't have time to kill him. And then make a base. And this is already good for black. Black's cut white off on both sides. It's a little tricky to understand, but these 2 stones are practically dead. Black has a base, so I'm going to say black has a base because these 2 are pretty much dead. Shouldn't be worth saving. And then these three are floating, in other words, baseless in our in black's area, so it should be good for black. This one's good. Very nice. Very nice. Black made a mistake and got punished. Uh, hmm. Okay. Yep. See, from your shape when you're running away, you want to play 1-point jumps, like here or maybe here. 1-point jumps to run. Careful. Hanes are cuttable. So this sort of shape, the Hane and the Knight's Move, are shapes that have a cutting point. Cutting point shapes are not good for defense. They can be good for developing if done at the right time. They can be good for attacking and surrounding your opponent if you're strong enough. But they're very bad for defense. So if we try to run away with a baseless group and we play a cuttable shape, this is very easily going to cause dead groups in our games. It's not 100% all the time bad, but it is the number one leading cause of dead groups is cutting points. Black, I think it's okay to go here simply because you are also weak, and I think we need to play defense first. Trying to attack with a weak group is very dangerous. White, go ahead and just fix. Fixing cuts are good. This is unnecessary and a wasted move because these 2 stones are dead. So you didn't actually have to fix that. Your 3 stones are alive. Your 3 stones are fine. So we need to be thinking attack and defense on these 2 groups. So once you realize that this group is alive, then you need to go attack white. And you can actually just cut directly. No, you can't. Yeah, not quite. Okay, so then just probably peep. What is our basic shapes here? Peep, cut. Peeps are typically bad though, so I think I want to say the capping move is what we want to look at this level. So cut or cap. In this case, we look at the cut first, and if we see that it is a net, then we don't do it, and we do something else. And we want to, in this case, we want to surround because our opponent doesn't have a base. And to surround, we want to look at the capping moves usually. So here would be a capping move. Here would be a capping move. The peep in this case is okay, but I want to teach you good habits, and peeps most of the time are bad. So let's just do caps at this level. This is endgame, so it's far too soon. You have a weak group. You want to play defense on that weak group. It's good Tanuki by black. Good defense. Tiger's Mouth here is okay simply because it makes the eye shape, so there is a secondary purpose. So in this case, making the Tiger's Mouth is okay. Making eyes in the center is usually the last thing we do. So we want to run away first before we worry about making eyes. So fix the cuts and then run away. So 1-point jumps are really great for that. If you try to make eyes directly, it's going to be very, very slow and very difficult in the center. It takes too many moves. This is good for taking the eye shape, but I think there's a lesson here that you can probably learn. A lot of players, when they attack, they try to kill. This will only take you so far. It's actually better to not kill it if we can, because what we're supposed to be doing is making a positive exchange rate, or in this case, we want to think profit. So it's actually a good habit to think about, I want to let this group live, but I want to get something for it living. So what's something we can get? And I want to say getting some of this area would be good. So maybe let's look at a cap. The cap of a 1-space jump is going to be the dog space. So for white, it is a dog space right here. So the cap for a 1-space jump is going to be here. So this would be quite good. And let's say white lives. Let's just let white live. Cap, cap, cap. White lives. Cap, 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 cap. Maybe that one's go type. Maybe just here, right? Let's let white live. Whatever. White lives. And then we go and play a big move. This is really nice. This is pretty profitable. So the lesson or the idea, the concept I'm trying to get by is when you are attacking, you want to think about the profit, not about the kill. If they die, cool. It's not bad. But if you try to kill and they live, then you get nothing. So you want to always be thinking profit because you want a positive exchange rate. That's why attacking is so valuable. So if you try to go for the kill like this and white lives, then you need to see if you actually got anything for it or not. And a lot of times the answer will be no. Okay, very nice cut here. White, careful with the Hanes. We want to run away, so I think just 1 point jumps. Like here's the dog's face 1 point jump, or just a direct 1 point jump. But the idea is we want to run away and watch our cutting points. Hane is possible because we're the attacker. Just be very cautious with your liberties, and you should be able to if you can handle the liberties, then you can do this. Okay, white. Don't get distracted by a single stone. You need to stay on the group. It's fine to try to use the Ataris and low liberties to survive. That's okay, but you want to focus on surviving. Very nice. That is a ladder. Okay, we are not alive yet. We still got to keep playing over here. This group is not alive, and it can still be surrounded, so we need to keep playing over here. Do not play big move until you are alive. This is unnecessary. Just keep attacking. I'm not going to say a move because I think all of them are more than double-digit Q, but the idea is you just want to try to surround this and watch white's cutting points while also keeping an eye on these two stones and your cutting points. That's the concept here, is you're trying to surround white. This is a little bit of a bad fundamental. Technically works here. Technically is good. But I want to encourage you to not do this. If you want to build, I want to encourage you to look at shoulder hits before touching moves. I think they are usually better. And before you look at that, these are like framework building moves. Before you look at that, you need to look at the sides first. So I think there's still a corner enclosure to be had right here. So I think this is quite big. And then after that, we can start looking at some shoulder hits and build moves. Otherwise, we can just play a normal extension like this. Touch Nobi. It's a good rule of thumb. Touch Nobi, touch Nobi. This has technically less liberties, so it's a little bit more dangerous. And black, same concept. You have been touched. You want to Nobi. You need those liberties. Tsujis are found at 3 liberties or less. So if you are touched, you only have 3 liberties, right? So make those liberties, otherwise Tsujis can happen. And Tsujis can really mess up a position. Don't push diagonals if you can help it. I think just connect. This is kind of a bad habit because it fixes your opponent and doesn't fully fix you. Don't fix with empty triangles if you can help it. Bamboos are almost always better. And in this case, you can actually increase the points while fixing it with the tiger's mouth. But the, empty triangles usually are low liberties. I still think this group is the important thing for both players. It is a baseless group. Oh, very complex. Okay, we're not even gonna look at that. We're not gonna spend time on the whole double stuff. So that's it for this game. I'm out of time for this one, so hopefully you both find this review helpful.